Before we get to the video, I do actually want to make an announcement on very much something very much big. As you probably have been aware, at least on my Twitter, I have been part of an entire movement, an entire charity and very much donation for the groups of the Frouse, the GroupChat, and the GOONS. I have been a fan of at least the Frouse and the GOONS for at least a little bit of a while since the 21s. At least those years I was actually at least watching a little bit more YouTube. The GroupChat I'm only semi-familiar with, but that's not exactly what is important as of right now. The most important thing is that if you've also been on the internet as well, you've also been realizing a lot of stuff that's been happening, at least with the ongoing genocide that's been happening in Palestine. I'm not exactly much of a history buff within that, so I don't feel worthy or at least knowledgeable into explaining exactly what's been going on. There's plenty of other people out there that are far more intelligent than even I would, so I recommend finding people that are going to be much more knowledgeable about this. But we are doing something very much good. A nice mutual of mine by the name of EJ very much ended up making an entire project that is for Frouse for Palestine, GOONS for Palestine, and the GroupChat for Palestine, very much on Twitter. Essentially how it works is that a bunch of the daily accounts on there have almost been, putting us into teams for artists, for all of them to very much get art commissions. The way it works, for each donation that you very much give into any of the ongoing stuff, such as eSIMs, you can very much get yourself your own commission just by very much showing that you did donate and very much show the receipt to the specific daily account, and you can choose any of your artists of variation to get a com out of. This has been a very much big movement that's been going on for a while, and very much my slots had kind of been open for at least ever since the start of this project, and it's been very much successful, very much so. We have been raising over $400 as a so, and we're still planning to keep it going and still have this very much all go down. So I very much wanted to use my platform a little bit and actually spread some of the awareness to the whole thing, and that's essentially what I want to do. If you want a commission from me, go to the Daily Pezzy account and very much find me from there, and I'll link you to at least a tweet to very much show exactly what this is all about. And that's really about it, and we can continue on with the video. If you've been on the internet for as long as I have, you probably at least learned two things. One, any people of the state of Florida can essentially just do whatever they want, and that OnlyFans as of recently has been skyrocketing out of proportions. Very much everybody's able to make such a success off OFF. It's practically getting people to even sign up for courses for it, which I don't recommend doing it. That's an entirely scam. But what happens when you combine the two? Because that's essentially what happened to this one mother who was essentially just taking out her kid to a school, just, a typical average day, get your kid to school on time, be ready to learn about the new studies of the world. And the school board didn't exactly want this mother to actually go up to the school, so they ended up essentially banning her from going in with the car. And why exactly did that even happen? Well, this clip is going to explain very much sooner than later.
A Florida mom at odds with other parents over a controversial decal on her car.
She says there's nothing illegal about advertising her OnlyFans account, but it's causing a stir at her kid's private Christian school. Janice has the story from the newsroom.
This is what I am looking at when I pull up behind one of these vehicles.
Facebook messages, complaints, and TikToks.
You ban a vehicle.
Taking the front row pew at a private Christian school.
Not just a tiny, tiny little emblem on the back of a car. It is taking up the entire windshield, back windshield of two vehicles.
Lexi Thomas is a parent at Liberty Christian who wants this ad on another parent's car to stay off campus. That other parent is Michelle Klein, and what she has is an OnlyFans.
Yep, this mother is essentially just promoting her OnlyFans on her car, on her shirt. She's basically making sure that you are aware that she has an OnlyFans. Everybody can see it, from children to the neighbors to car drivers passing by. They're essentially just going at it and finding this person's OnlyFans that they are proudly advertising. They're literally a walking billboard at the moment. Now, I'm going to make sure I'm staying on the record that it's not exactly impossible to be paid on OnlyFans, because you can very much do so. However, her reasoning and what she says in the next clip is just odd and just concerning.
Well, it's definitely linked to, explicit content, adult content for sure.
Klein, who goes by Piper Fawn, says OnlyFans is her business and way of life.
My husband and I have this, little wild, behind closed doors lifestyle that we've now decided to share.
But not all parents want what Klein is sharing. Shared at school, with some moms complaining to Klein and the school, telling her not to use the main entrance and instead drop her kids off across the street.
I was forced to have to, take it off or not come on campus.
But parents at this private school say there's a simple solution if Klein wants to use the main drop-off.
Why not take the decal off?
And that would seem like an easy thing to say, for sure. But for me, it supports my family. This provides a very comfortable way of life for us. And it's legal. I pay taxes just like everyone else, but I'm not breaking the law. I just offended people.
I didn't break the law. I just offended people. How can you just say something like this when you're literally just promoting porn on, like, everywhere that you go? Like, I don't think it's possible for anyone to essentially just live off of, like, OnlyFans, like, type content. Just as the same way as that, like, I don't think, like, any, like, upstarting YouTuber can always make a living off of YouTube, because that literally requires, like, a constant amount of consistency for it. And seeing how she's also saying that this is literally the only main thing she's even, like, doing for the whole thing, like, that's just, like, concerning in so many ways, because I gotta feel bad for the child at this point. Like the kid must feel, like, embarrassed that her mom is, like, doing all this and just won't budge an inch to, like, maybe, like, change the shirt, take off, like, the sticker from the car. Like, she won't do any of that because she just thinks, like, it's a legitimate business, which technically it could, but it's not exactly much of a worthwhile business if you can't even, like, get your kid to school in any way, shape, or form. In fact, the whole situation ended up becoming so poorly from her that she ended up continuing to drop her kids off across the street, and that wants the school to provide her kids with the assistance to get across the street to school safely. She will not even take off the shirt. She won't even go take off the sticker off the car. She literally will not do anything to accommodate for the school, because she'd rather at least, promote her OnlyFans for people to seek out and buy. She is literally just a walking advertisement. And I don't know why she's even doing this in the first place. Like, even just aside from the whole thing of just, like, it's, like, her only, like, way of, like, getting money to, like, support her family, I have to know what her family thinks about this, because this clearly is not, like, I don't think any of the members are, like, on her side within this. Even, like, most of the neighbors and, like, and, like, schools, they're not having any of this. They don't want this, and yet she won't budge an inch. She's willing to promote everything and do everything else instead of just, like, doing anything else to just take off the shirt, which is so easy to do. Like, even the sign from the car, you can just take off the shirt, change it to a new one, cover yourself up with a jacket. Yet she won't do any of that because of, like, it's her only financial, like, income in some way, shape, or form. And I just don't get it as to why that was even the case in the first place. I'm not saying that OnlyFans content is bad content, but I think there's, like, a certain degree where you just have to at least acknowledge that what you at least have is a bit of a side hustle. Like, some things are just, like, side hustles, and then you could just have, like, a side job afterwards because of it that makes you end up earning a lot of money. It's like the thing of, like, living off an artist, like kind of like wage or, like commissions and all that. You obviously can't live off of it, but you at least have another job to do so. The art is just, like, the quick extra side for just some other cash and all that, which I don't think this mother realized that this is not exactly what it is. Even when she is promoting herself, it's not always guaranteed that people are going to go sign up for her OnlyFans. Unless there are going to be people out there that are going to, like, buy her OnlyFans and are probably going to, like, do everything they can to, like, support her in some way because of it. But I don't know. Listen, I think it's important to at least acknowledge that, like, just because you do things with OnlyFans doesn't mean you have to do this shit. Like, man, like, just, like, make a card or something like that. Make a card and like that's like fine. That's at least, you know, a little bit discreet instead of like, you know, plastering it on the side of your car. And yeah, that's that's originally honestly what I wanted to just show you, because when I very much found out about this, I knew I kind of just had to make a video for it. And that's about the video. Bye bye.